to carry on. Open your heart, set your mind at ease. Live your life and you'll be free. We're gonna rise, rise, rise. Keep on rising, rise, rise, rise. Keep on rising, rise, rise.
Good evening, folks, and welcome to TTR Friday. The end of the week is here yet again. It seems like it's flying round now. Life passes you by like a hurricane. Well, it certainly passed very quickly this week as well. My name's Paul. I'm joined by, of course, Alex and Billy. Back. Not fighting fit, but you're back.
Yeah, I'm not too bad. I've been better.
Yes. Anyway, welcome everybody. As usual, if you do enjoy the show, hit that thumbs up. And if you're new, please do subscribe as we head towards 34,000 subscribers. And of course, you can support the channel in the usual two ways by hitting that join button to become a member. That's just underneath the three of us. And of course, the super chat button, which is the dollar button at the bottom of the live chat. That will guarantee your comment to be read out on the show if you do make a super chat. We did have two new members to the Toon Review membership, but they've disappeared off the screen, so I have no idea who they are. They signed up sometime today, so thank you, whoever you were. I'm sure we'll find out in due course who they were. But good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening, and good evening to all you beautiful people out there in Viewerland.
You got there, Billy.
In the end.
I mean, Alex did it this morning. It sounded like he wanted to kill himself, to be honest. But yeah, it wasn't great. Lady Sam isn't with us tonight. She's away on a mucky weekend. So she'll be back on Sunday night for the match preview. She's took her angry shoulders down to Kent somewhere, hasn't she? She's away with the girls. So hope she has a great time. But did you watch the press conference, Billy?
No, I didn't. I did not.
Well, do you know about Callum Wilson?
I'm not. I don't. But I can guess.
Well, I mean, what he said was basically, you should have seen his face, though. I mean, he was asked the question about Callum Wilson, and he just looked like he didn't want to answer it. He was like, oh, well, he could train today. So, in other words, he hasn't trained with the team yet. But apparently, Kieran Trippier is further along than he is. So, I mean, we're not sure, are we, Alex, to be honest? What's going on?
Yeah, it is a little bit odd because we were told sort of after this international break. And then he went on to talk about Kieran Trippier, who's trained once, and that Kieran Trippier is ahead of Callum Wilson in terms of coming back from injury, which is weird. I don't know how Kieran Trippier can be ahead of Callum when Callum's just been slowly building his fitness back for ages. It's bizarre. It really is.
It really is. It's mental. It's mental. You know what? There's no apparent other injuries, which is great. But Billy, the sponsorship vote went through today, and was well, we lost basically. What do you reckon to that?
Well, it seems like a couple of clubs have changed sides, maybe three, before the vote was kind of enacted. Wolves and Everton are two of them. Chelsea potentially a third. But even with those three, they still haven't got enough to actually pass the vote. So, you know, it's a hard one to kind of decide.
Rather funny this morning talking about Everton cowering away into a little corner.
Well, yeah.
I do think Everton have been... Something's happened there because they've
been nobbled.
Hated all of this, and now all of a sudden they voted. It's bizarre.
Wolves did, didn't they? Wolves are very anti-Premier League, but yeah, it's very odd.
Do you think there's any backhanders gone on?
It's a bit of nobbling going on, I imagine.
Yes, just it's.
I mean, we're not allowed to officially state that, but
Oh,
it is odd.
That's why I said imagine. Yeah.
Imagine, yes, imagine that.
Charles haven't even got a shirt sponsor, so it's odd that they've kind of changed sides, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. Dino says there, Everton's arse has completely dropped. Yes, they did. But look, it's gone through. There's nothing we can do. But Alex, I mean, you can reiterate again. You don't think it's going to be a bigger issue as what maybe people are making out it to be?
No, there's a lot of reading between the lines and interpretation of different things. This isn't the end. Definitely not the end.
Mm-hmm. Peter says Harold Wilson, I think that's what he was called, was supposed to be available early in the season after an operation, I seem to remember. Yes, he was, Peter, but not anymore. Look, it's becoming a joke, Billy, isn't it? I mean, when he's I mean, you'll have to go back and watch it, Billy, because you have to sort of see his sort of he just sort of looked a bit embarrassed, I guess.
Probably fed up with being asked it, to be honest, isn't he? He's asked week in, week out for however long it's taken. He's probably fed up with asking. And, if he's saying 2 weeks, 3 weeks, month, week, days, hours, years, he's probably pissed off with it.
Yeah. It's absolutely 100% agree. Jamie says, Paul Alice knows football, won once and plays second twice. She's my favourite Man United supporter, speaks good about Newcastle. The Content Awards last night. I mean, we may as well talk about that before we go any further. We didn't place in our category.
I don't think we were expected to with the sort of
What
podcast
category were we in?
there.
We were in Best Podcast Premier League. But we're not a podcast, Billy. We're going up against some massive hitters in the podcasting world who generally have massive followings on like Spotify and iTunes.
Yeah.
We've
some of those have production teams and it's their full-time job and they have offices and companies they work with. It's like a full thing. So even be in that conversation is hugely flattering.
It is massively flattering, but this is 2 years in a row now that we've been put in a podcast category, and we're a content creating channel. We're not yes, we do upload the shows to Spotify, etc. when I remember to do so, but that's just for people to listen to after the show's taking place. We're not a massive podcasting corporation. I mean, some of the guys we were against, it's literally impossible, and it's a bit disappointing, to be honest, because. I think they've got to change the way they do things as well. Adam did a video last night during the awards and afterwards, and then he made a comment about the price that it was that they were asking. Even for the people that had been nominated had to pay, and some had to pay up to £300-400 for the tables because. Alex, they did it. I don't know whether you've seen Adam's video, but they did it totally different to how they did it last year when everybody was in the same room. They had tables in one room and then a sort of walkway back and just lines of chairs. So they weren't actually in the same room as the rest of them who were giving the prizes out. They had to watch it on big screens, and I found that very, very strange. Wow. But again,
it definitely sold out. Definitely sold out. It is a real shame. Real shame.
Yeah, it is. And
there were actual football clubs there, weren't there? If you want to look at the table thing, there were some.
Well, that's the thing, Billy. That's the thing. Yeah,
we know where the elite were.
Yeah, but there were in the previous 2 years, Billy. But I think it was just representation that was there. It wasn't. So I don't know who was there in terms of from.
There was Sky Sports, football clubs. There was all sorts.
There was a lot at the front. Yeah, there was a lot more. There was a lot more companies etc. there than there was last year. So obviously they had all the seats and tables etc. But for me, I mean, I said this morning, but I was going to say it again tonight because we got obviously more people viewing. I was quite gutted last night. I have to be honest. When the results came through and they were coming through on our phones, etc., I was genuinely gutted because I thought, not just for me, but for these guys, Alex, Billy, and Sam, the effort that they put into this channel as well. The guys off camera, all our wonderful mods, Susan, who's been fantastic as usual. And of course, you guys, our subscribers. I wanted us to do something and get somewhere, and actually be. And it's not the fact that I'm sort of saying, oh, we should win. All I'm saying is I was gutted because we didn't. It was disappointing because I think it would have been great for me to say to the guys, even if we placed in the top 3, 1, 2, or 3, that would have seen us be recognised. And I think that's the thing I was disappointed at. So I could go to the guys and say, look, this is what we as a team have achieved. That's the only reason. Not because I think we should win or anything like that. There was some very, very good people who won last night. Absolutely, 100%. But it was gutting because I wanted to really celebrate with the guys and say, look, this is where we've come from to where we are now. We have a fantastic team behind the camera. We've got a fantastic team on camera. We're starting to do things with the channel now. We're about to launch a second channel. So things are really picking up, and I'm genuinely gutted for the TTR team and you subscribers who voted. I really am. And I was really disappointed last night, and I'm not going to hide that. Of course, we want to win things. We want to be recognised and things like that. And I'm sure, Matty went down there. He won second place last year. He didn't get anything last night. And, of course, Adam didn't. Geordie Josh did. So, again, another massive shout out to him. He got second place in his category, which is fantastic. He's a great lad, and he thoroughly deserves it. He's a funny lad as well. If you ever watch him on TikTok, by God, when he goes live, he's funny. But yeah, it's disappointing, and I'm sorry we couldn't do it for you guys. I really am. But onwards and upwards again, and hopefully, one day we might come through. Hopefully, we will. We will continue the hard work that we put into this channel. We'll continue bringing you the content that you want to see, and hopefully, we can go from strength to strength. Got a few. Brian Quinn is a new member of the channel. Thank you very much, Brian. And we've got Tarek, who's been a member now for 25 months on the channel. Thank you very much, Tarek. Evening, chaps and chat. You're all winners to me, guys. Putting you in the wrong category was shocking. Much love to TTR. Jimmy, thank you for your super chat. Jimmy Barr voted for you lads over and over again. I'm sure you'll take it eventually, guys. You have the best content, in my opinion. Bob Black, who's been a member for a year today. Thank you, Bob. Good evening, guys. Who decides on the categories you put into? Well, this is the strange thing, Bob, because we told everybody to go and vote for us in the right category, and they did. And then this is the strange thing for me. They vote initially for the people to make the finals, and our voters went and put us in the right category, but then come the finals, we've actually moved. And I find that highly strange. I really do.
A lot of it's highly strange, isn't it? I mean, the fact that we couldn't get tickets, even though we applied for before the date, saying they were sold out as nominees for an award, it's all of it smells a little bit, I've got to say.
But I mean, I agreed with Adam what he said on his video about the fact that, you're having to pay hundreds of pounds when you're actually nominated. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, doesn't. No.
I mean,
it's a good gig, isn't it? It's quite an easy gig as well when you think about it.
Yeah.
You nominate, you just go. I mean, you could do that in theory. You could do that with anything on YouTube, couldn't you? You could go into the ice hockey content creator awards, and you could go and have a look at every single ice hockey content creator on YouTube, do like a big competition, hire out, charge tickets for it, hire out a venue, put a bar in, put some tablecloths down, get somebody to go and talk on stage in a microphone and give out some little plastic awards, and there you go, you've made a profit.
And I know that
off YouTube.
The content awards is getting bigger and bigger every year. That's clear to see. But I think what Adam was trying to get at, and I think he made a very, very good point, is don't make it too corporate. Don't turn it into a big corporate event where you're freezing out the actual content creators for sponsorships and corporate. It was very disappointing. And, if they're going to go that way, I mean, Adam said he's probably not going to go again because, he was put out into a sort of room with a line of chairs to watch on a video screen. Which
you couldn't hardly see the screen either, where it was.
Yeah, and you could you could basically sit at home scrolling through X, waiting for the results to come through instead of because what they don't think of, you've got to pay the price of your ticket, and then you've got to
Get there.
travel down there, then you've got your overnight stay. It's not right. It just isn't right, and I think it's something for me. I agree with Adam. It was very, very, very sad, actually. But congratulations to all the winners. There were some fantastic winners there last night. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But when you've got winners having to come from sort of another room to come to the main stage, it stinks a bit to me. It really does. Dan Robinson, thank you for your super chat. I have to miss the show. Love you all. Best channel on YouTube. Don't get disheartened. They're just a bunch of pondering sycophants. You're the best. Thank you, mate. Thank you for all the lovely messages in the chat as well, guys. I really, really do appreciate it. It's you guys basically that make this channel. We put the stuff in behind the scenes, but if you didn't watch, then we wouldn't have a channel. So that's why more than anything, just wanted to come on and say, yeah, we got this. Thank you so much for all your support and what you do for this channel. Because you guys, at the end of the day, make this channel what it is. We come on and speak in front of the camera, but the mods behind the scenes who do it on a voluntary basis, they're just fantastic people. And by the way, I want to give a shout out to one of our mods, Rufiad Benisian, who lost his mum a couple of days ago. So I haven't put anything in the WhatsApp group yet, but we're all thinking of you, and thoughts and prayers to you and the family, mate. You're a great guy, and it's very, very sad news. But please keep your head up. You know where we are if you need to speak to us. Unbelievable guy as well. Tangy says it's same as Premier League. The content creators associated with cartel clubs will win the most. Well, I mean, you look through the winners last night, and it's an interesting bunch.
There was one from Aston Villa that won one of the main ones, wasn't there? Aston Villa one, so I think they were called. Yeah.
I mean, it was great to see Alice win because she deserves it. She's got a fantastic couple of channels going. She's just absolutely brilliant.
She was in three, but how did she get into three categories?
I don't know how it works, Billy. I honestly don't know how you get put in different categories. Adam was in three. I've got no idea. I don't know how they work it out. But the fact is, we were in one category. Everybody voted us in the right category. And then when it came to the finals, we were in the podcast one again. And we got no chance when we're against those size podcasters. I mean, the massive companies now, these who we're up against, it's impossible. Never mind. Chipper says, to be fair, Paul, being nominated shows you were doing something great and going in the right direction. The only way is up. Barth says, still the best live watch along. Blow the pundits on TV. Thank you, mate. Steve says, sorry, Paul. Juicy Lucy flashing her bits for 20k a week. You guys got no chance. John says, you don't need an award to prove your worth. Best channel on YouTube by a mile. Thank you very much. Fuggy Crack says, don't worry about the awards team. It's your viewers that count, and we all love you. Thank you very much. There's some lovely comments coming in, and thank you so much. I mean, it really does. I mean, Billy, it gives you heart, doesn't it? When we're disappointed and then we see all these fantastic comments coming in. It just makes you feel like you are doing something right. And so
of course
the awards, it's not, we don't do it for the awards, but it's
nice to get recognition, isn't it?
Yeah.
And the fact that we have 1,000 people watching most nights of the week, every night of the week, it's testament to the people watching, I guess. And we know we've got the best viewers on YouTube. So
we have.
That's all we need, really, isn't it? We don't need awards to kind of make our day better. It's the fact we've got the fantastic family and community of the Toon Review.
Absolutely. I'm not sure. Simon says the development of TTR seems to be following that of Newcastle United. Maybe you need a Paul Mitchell behind the scenes. We've got Alex. We don't need Paul Mitchell. We've got Alex.
We've got Grant Mitchell.
Oh dear. Rob Weaver says, you guys are everything to me. Never miss a show. You must know you're the best Newcastle show anyway. We're just trying to bring you the best content. We're not in competition with anybody. We don't see it that way. We never have. Other channels may. may see it that way, but we don't. We just do what we do because we love doing what we do, and we will continue to do that. We're not in competition with anybody. We get on a lot very well with most of the channels, not all of them, but most of them, and we want to keep it that way. James Feetham, welcome to Members Club. Thank you, James, for signing up, and thank you for your support. By the way, guys, I just want to give a shout out. I got a lovely email earlier on this afternoon. Let me just bring it up here 1 second. I've got my new glasses now, so I can see what I'm actually doing. We got a lovely email from Sean Peacock. He's a Canadian Geordie, and he won't mind me reading this out. I'll paraphrase a little bit, but he says, I decided to switch professions and have been struggling to find a job and hit some personal lows. During this time, I've done a good job of hiding my struggles from my partner, as she does deserve the best, and I'm not being able to provide that lately. I was lucky enough during this time to find you and the crew on YouTube. The amount of laughs you all bring me, as well as a chance to forget my worries for a few minutes every day, it means so much more to me than I can ever express. If this one does make it to you, please let everyone in the team, in front and behind the cameras, know how much this community means to so many people. Thank you all for being a little light in the darkness. I mean, thank you, Sean. But isn't that just wonderful? You just randomly get an email like that, and it's, that just hammers home that we just have a very, very, very special community on this channel. And even Alex, who hardly ever smiles, but he's a very special guy. But you know what? We've got a foursome on camera. We love what we do. We've got great banter with each other. We're all best of buddies, and that's how it'll stay. We are locked in, part of the furniture, and we will keep doing what we do, and hopefully you guys enjoy. Tangy's broke into song. We are family. I have all my Geordies with me. Do you want to sing that for us, Billy? Or...
We are family. I have all my Geordies with me. There you go.
Wow, Billy, that was sensational, mate. I definitely see an album.
Everyone can see we're together.
I think Billy's been sort of missing being on camera, hasn't he? He's missed a couple of days, and he's just wanting to express himself again.
I've been singing Chris Isaac and Depeche Mode to myself for the last 2 days.
Chris Isaac, bloody hell, Billy! I never dreamed that I'd meet somebody like you. Oh dear, that makes you want to punch yourself in the face, Billy. Harry says, Paul, it is what you mean to us as fans. I listened to you on the way home after 12.5-hour shift on the ward. Love the content. You allow us to chill after hard days. Keep up the great work. Thank you very, very much.
You keep up your great work, Harry. Thanks very much for your service, mate.
Absolutely. PAB says, Adam P got a random Iraqi team's football shirt. I think it was the guy sitting next to him, because he didn't have a table. It was only at the tables that they put these on, which again, I think is very indicative of what we've been saying at the start of the show. The people in the back on the chairs, I don't think, I mean, I could be wrong, but I don't think they got the shirts from Adam's video anyway. Claire says, Paul, the viewing figures show the support you have. You don't need an award to tell you that. Thank you, Claire. James says, hi, Paul, Billy and Alex. I am a Man City supporter and think you're the best now going to become a member. Wow. And he has. Well, we do welcome other fans. We're certainly not disrespectful to anybody on this channel, quite frankly. We speak very highly of countries around the world, other clubs, apart from Everton and Manchester United. So you are very welcome.
Just please don't buy Bruno.
Yeah, well, yes. Please don't. I don't think Bruno's going anywhere, though, Alex. Judging by what he's been saying in the press, he quite poo-pooed all the crap.
Yeah, well, I think it's more about Pep. There's a bit of uncertainty. I appreciate Pep's just signed a new contract, but long term now, if you're looking at signing for Man City, is Pep going to be there long term, like in 2 years, 3 years, 5 years? Possibly not. So if you're looking at joining Man City now, then what's the next chapter going to be sort of soon? We don't know.
Yeah, absolutely. Be interesting to see what happens. Katie Parkin, welcome to Members Club. Thank you for signing up, Katie, and thank you for your support. Now, I've been sort of jogging, trying to think of who Mr. Stato is going to shame this week because, well, there's been an international break, but something will have annoyed Stato. So let's find out. Alex, Agent Text Stream saying your volume on your mic is slightly too high.
Turn it down.
Oh, well, there you go.
Turn it down.
That sounds perfect, actually. There you go. So who are you shaming this week, Stato?
Troy Deeney.
Troy Deeney?
The Italian
Troy
striker.
Deeney. I'm getting a little bit bored of. I appreciate maybe some of what he says is rehashed, but I've listened to some of it and it's just unnecessarily malicious to just everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And I just don't think he's got the CV to back up his bite, if that makes sense. When Scholes or Rooney or Roy Keane or Shearer or Ian Wright, when they give it, I feel like they can because of who they are. I don't think Troy Deeney is what he thinks he is in his own mind, and what I'm specifically annoyed about is his comments on Tino Livramento from recently, and I've got some of the quotes here. I'm not sure on Tino Livramento just yet, which is fair, to be honest. And the quote that Twitter's just crashed, and I've lost all the quotes. Oh, lovely. Well, he whinged about him not being good at the back post, and a few other things. What a time for that to crash, honestly, literally just as I'm reading quotes. No wonder everybody's going to Blue Sky. Jesus. Oh. Right, bear with me 1 second because I want to get that back up.
I mean,
it is important.
Well,
Right,
Pedro cannot stand him. Troy, his banter and presence is crap. But go on, Alex.
So he said, what is he great at? He gets caught defensively, watching and waiting at goals at the back post. There have been some defensive lapses in judgment recently.
Mm-hmm.
However, I feel like the rest of it is really, really harsh. Like Livramento is basically a U21s player who's been fast tracked. He's really, really young, and it's so harsh. Yeah. It's just unnecessary. And he had an attack on. I don't specifically know what it was. Was it YouTubers or online pundits? Whatever.
He said online pundits. Stroke. I think he was talking about podcasters in general.
Yeah, he had a massive go at them, essentially saying that their opinions, they've got no idea what they're talking about and stuff. And to be honest, I think a lot of people that work in football are in the same boat as what YouTubers are. People who become commentators didn't necessarily play the game. Commentators are just fans who just watched a lot.
Who are doing their dream job. If you're a football fan and a commentator, that's what I see. I love commentating. So
I'm pretty sure. Was it Graham? No, it wasn't Graham Bailey. It's the other one. It was Alex Crook. I think it was Alex Crook who was stood there. Who basically is just a journalist, just going, yeah. All of these people with no real experience in the game. Oh, it's terrible with their silly opinions. Like, isn't that what you are? You literally just have a piece of paper and you're a journalist.
Yeah, well,
That's
funny you should say that, Alex.
Is.
Julius's Talk Sports suspended their chat this morning because Alex Crook was doing the show. So they're suspended.
Yeah, it's complete character assassination of any legitimate fan making any content. It's disgraceful. Like any journalist, all of our journalists, whether you like them or not, are fans of football and like to write about it. They're not professionals within the sport. They don't have the experience, but their opinions get valued. So why all of a sudden, because fans are doing it from potentially their own home, I've watched more Newcastle games than Troy Deeney's ever watched in his life. I've watched hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of games, and I feel like I've got some insight. Is it the best? Possibly not. Of course not. Everybody.
Yeah, but
everybody's
Alex,
got
this
different
is
opinions
the
on
new
things.
this is the media now. Whether farts like Deeney and Alex Crook think they know better than others. Yes, Troy Deeney's been in there. He's been in the football world, but at the same time, us fans, we're allowed to say. And the likes of YouTube, etc., have enabled us to have that say. We not, like you said, we may not be right with what we say all the time, and sometimes our opinions are, wrong, and we'll accept that. But at the same time,
it's his gatekeeping.
yeah,
The
absolutely.
gatekeeping nature of that opinion, I just think, is wrong.
Yeah.
People can do what they want now. It's getting silly that suddenly it's just a huge attack on YouTubers in general, and then having a pop at Tino Livramento fresh off the back of his England debut. I thought that was but like very poorly timed and a little bit malicious and vile for a young man who's he didn't make any glaring mistakes for England. He's been okay for us, getting up to speed, trying to take over Kieran Trippier's mantle. Just unnecessary, really, really unnecessary.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, I think the thing is, Billy, as well, with further on from what Alex says, YouTube now. I watch YouTube more than I do normal TV. There's more content on there. There's more stuff I like to watch, and I think a lot of the certainly for me with the NHL ice hockey, it's brilliant for me because I get to see all the highlights and stuff like that on YouTube the following day. With it's so much different these days now, and they need to stop looking in the past and realize that this is probably the main YouTube is probably the main media outlet of them all.
Yeah, and I think Troy Deeney's jealous of that. I think in days past, before YouTube took off like as it has, certainly for football content, he'd have been on TV and his voice would have been the only one you'd have heard. Now there's people in his mind who have no opinion as equal as his, kind of getting more traction with it. He's probably very jealous of that, and that's down to him more than it is to us, I've got to say. Everyone's entitled to an opinion on football. At the end of the day, it's an entertainment. There's no right or wrong. Mostly. Sometimes there is, obviously, but if you're discussing the values of how good a goal was, it's opinions, isn't it? And I bet he hasn't criticised Trent Alexander-Arnold for his defending.
Yeah,
but he's the worst defending right back in the Premier League, probably.
Yeah, and I think I'm seeing a lot of people saying the same thing about YouTube. I mean, I come down on a morning and have a coffee, let the dogs out, and I sit down and I have my coffee and I go to YouTube. It's the first thing I go to. To look for latest football news, latest, ice hockey and stuff like that. And then I go and look at all the latest Newcastle United news, preparing shows and stuff. They need to get with the times. They really do. By the way, did you see the last Stick to Football with obviously Gary Neville and Keane on them? Roy Keane. Absolute. I mean, this man never change. Roy Keane, please never change. What's the last one there called again? The Geordie last or the Mackham last. Jill Scott,
very tall Mackham lady.
Yeah, she was talking about playing in a charity game at the weekend, and there was a former footballer she mentioned. I can't remember his name. I think he was a former West Ham striker. I'm not sure. But she turned around and said he absolutely battered us or something along them lines. And then Roy Keane piped up and went, yes, Jill, but what about the football game? And everybody just lost it. It was Gary Neville actually spat his water out. It was brilliant. And you know what? It was Marlon Harewood, of course, former Newcastle player, wasn't it? Just brilliant. Jill Scott said he smashed us, and then Keane went, well, what about the football? Just hilarious. Absolutely hilarious.
There's a man who's done a face turn over the years. I mean, as a player, God, I couldn't stand him. You'd look forward to him getting sent off or injured. He was that bad. Hated him. Yeah. Since he's become a pundit, it's just totally changed people's opinion on him. Yeah, absolutely. There is a couple of players like that, ex-players that you used to hate who've become pundits. I don't mind Gary Neville. I agree. Like what Gary's got to say, and I like how he presents well as well. I like it when he does interviews with players and things like that. It's really good. So there is a few out there, and I like Jill Scott as well. She's definitely down for a laugh. With the lads, you know what I mean? They're a good bunch on there, and I don't mind it.
So I just thought that was absolutely bloody hilarious. But anyway, we're going to open the lines up for you to join us live on the show while we play the intro to everybody's favourite time of the week. It is Billy's Beef.
Here's Billy.
So it is Billy's Beef, but before we start, Sharon Hindoff, pardon me if I've got your name wrong, you know what I'm like. Thank you for signing up to membership and your ongoing support. Really appreciate that, Sharon. The lines are open now to join us, guys. It is pinned at the top of the chat to come on and tell us your thoughts ahead of the West Ham game. But first of all, who is your beef with this week, Billy?
I haven't got a beef. It's more of a positive thing, actually. So this week we'll call
Wow.
it Billy's roast beef and Yorkshire puddings.
Billy's roast beef and Yorkshire puddings. That's okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right, okay.
Because, well, just to see the game last Sunday, to see 3 Newcastle United players in the England side brought a real to my heart. Thought it was fantastic. So it's clearly positive news for Newcastle United. Clearly testament to what Eddie Howe's doing with the club. Well, a lot of us have had wobbles with him over the past, but he's turning things around. But the fact he's got 3 of our players into the England first 11 is fantastic news, fantastic achievement, not just from the players involved, but the coaching staff and the manager to get them into that side. And once they're in that side, perform really, really well also. It's just, it brings a nice little buzz to yourself. And I think it's fantastic, you know, and long may it continue. And maybe let's get a few more in the side. Because when Newcastle players play for England, they never let England down, historically. So it's good for England. A good England or a good Newcastle United is usually the base to a good England. So, yeah, fantastic from the 3 involved. Fantastic from the manager and the coaching staff. Happy days. Big smile on face. Billy's beef and roast pudding, Yorkshire puddings.
Well, somebody put in the chat there, Billy's beef and all the trimmings. So there you go.
Billy's beef curtains. I don't think so.
Yeah, no, we'll stay away from that one. And Acid has signed up to membership as well. He must have completed some of his plant growing and earned some money. So welcome. I think he's been a member before, but welcome back, matey. Nice to have you back as a member. Right, let's bring. There's a couple of people waiting. First of all, we got Chippers. Good evening, Chippers.
Hello.
What's your first?
Hello.
Evening.
What would you like to say?
Well, just following on from what Stato said about his comments about Troy Deeney, but I'm going to go to Flabby Gabby Ogbonnaho because he the other day said Isaac should have been at Arsenal. Now, what gives him the right to say he should be playing for Arsenal? I'm sorry, but no, he shouldn't be at Arsenal. Why? Why should he be at Arsenal? It's why shouldn't we say Ollie Watkins should be at Arsenal or John Duran should be at Arsenal or anything like that? What gives him the right to say a Newcastle player should be there, not one of his own? Just frustrates me, but they're tosspots anyway, so I don't really take their opinion to heart. So I just think, you know what, the best thing to do is go out there and smash West Ham on Monday night, and that'll be all right.
Yeah, but Ogbonnaho, Alex, he's got form for this, hasn't he, with his comments about wanting to play for Brentford for 10 grand a week less.
Gobby, yeah, definitely. He's done this for a very long time. I just don't think he's a very nice human being beyond the football opinions as well. I think that there was one specific show that I watched that I was appalled by it. That it was a segment on, I think it was mental health of young players who get released from the academies maybe
Yeah.
don't quite make it in football, and trying to, because there's been an issue of sort of taking their own lives and things like that, and then there've been people with depression not knowing where to sort of steer their life going into adulthood, and it was about that and getting them the help and support from the clubs and from somewhere. And he just persistently moved the conversation to getting help for retiring players, knowing what to do when he had finished and he needed help and he didn't get the help that he needed. And I just thought, mate, this wasn't supposed to be about you. And he just spent 10 minutes directing the conversation towards himself.
Yeah.
And I just think he's a horrible human being. I think he should be ashamed of himself. And I'm surprised he's still got a job there, to be honest.
Chippers, West Ham United Monday night. How are you feeling ahead of the game? I mean, we should be confident, definitely, but it's West Ham need to perform, and I think that judging by what I've read about the manager, he's got 2 games to save his job.
Well, nothing to certainty in life, is it? But this is a game that you would think that after the performance we had against Forest, especially the second half, that it's 3 points we need to take, especially having dropped points early on in the season against teams like Fulham, Everton. This is points where we need to gain back. It's unfortunate we're the last team to play over the weekend, because we could, if we were starting first, we could have put pressure on other teams. But then I suppose we'll know where we stand on Monday night when all the other teams have played. So I will think at home to them. It's a game we've got to win, I think, to claw back points, because there'll be teams around with that'll win. So I'm confident that we will do it, because I haven't watched West Ham before the international break. I know things can change and stuff like that, but it's not going to change in 2 weeks under the same manager, I think. We saw them against Forest the week before they played us, and Forest ripped them a new one, and we went to Forest and ripped them a new one. So I can't see why we can't do that to them on Monday night, and I think we will.
Yeah. Luke, been a member for 27 months. Thank you for your support, Luke. Andy Jacobs on TalkSport mentioned the same thing as Ekbonloho Ari Isak. I think it's just this season's Southern media rhetoric, boring and irritating. Absolutely. Trevor says, my brother is an Arsenal fan, and apparently Isak isn't good enough for Arsenal. Yeah.
No, he's not. He's not good enough for Arsenal. He's good enough for Newcastle. That'll do me.
What do you think about midfield and Chippers? Is it going to be Tonali or is it going to be Longstaff?
I want Tonali, but again, I think he's going to go with Longstaff. I just think he's a winning formula. I think he'll keep that. I think the only change he'll make is Kelly for Dan Burn, who's banned. I think that's the only change we'll see. I think without that, he keeps the same team.
Interesting. Well, we'll find out hours on Sunday night. Give us your prediction and Chippers.
I'm going to say we'll win 4-1.
Wow. Okay. That's confidence, matey. That's the way to be. Right. Thank you very much for coming on, buddy.
Right,
Cheers, Chippers.
Enjoy the weekend.
Take care, mate. Good night, matey. You too. Next to come on, I feel like I should. Dun 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 dun. I am a real American. Fight for the rights of every man. It is Hulk Hogan himself. Good evening, Alexander.
Good evening. How are you?
We are well. How are you?
I'm exhausted. Very, very exhausted. I've worked for, I think, 4 days straight.
Wow.
13-hour shifts, and I just finished downing a pint because I'm going out tonight with a lady friend.
Wow.
Oh.
Be giving some injections, will you?
And strangely, our co-host says she's in Kent. Is she really in Kent? That is the question. She'll be gutted she's not on tonight because you weren't here last week, Alexander. But it's probably good because she was absolutely rat-arsed, as she normally is on a TTR Friday. What would you like to say tonight about the Toon?
Just a couple of transfers that I think that we should probably go for as we're coming up to the transfer window. I put in the chat very early before you guys came on, but we should probably take a look at in the Americas, like in Central and South America. One name that I am particularly fond of is Luis Palma. He's Honduran. I think over the week they played Mexico twice in 2 legs, and he scored twice against Mexico, which is not an easy feat to do for such a small country who don't have very astonishing players.
Yeah.
but he's one that I probably will look into because he's a very good inverted winger for Honduras and for Celtic. Another one would be one that I watch closely because I come from Miami is David Ruiz. He's very young, very raw, and he would be cheap, but he also can hold up the midfield. He reminds me of Bruno without the talent, but you can always train up to the talent wise of
Bruno without the talent.
Sounds like Jack Colback.
Yeah. Let's go get Jack back.
And actually, one more would be Asprilla, who's also he plays in the center as well, but he's mostly used as a winger.
Watford.
But he has pace. He has the pace to compete with the likes of Walker and other fast wingers. But yeah, that's just the cheaper option since we have to fight FFP, which is a battle that it's gonna be forever until somebody changes it. But it is what it is.
Another Esprit playing for Newcastle. That would be interesting, wouldn't it?
Which Esprit are you talking about? Because there are a few.
Yeah, they're not related though. I looked it up. I thought it was probably like his father. It's not. They're not related.
But which one? Because there's a few and they're all Colombian. Are they the
They're
one
all
who plays for
Colombian.
Girona, or
There's one at Watford, isn't there?
There's one at Watford as well. Yeah.
I think that's
Interesting.
the same guy. Yeah, he's in La Liga now. He was at Watford.
How are you feeling about the game on Monday, Alexander?
A little bit nervous because we're coming back from international break. The chemistry would be broken for the moment because you're so used to playing with your countrymen side by side, but then you have to go back to your team, and sometimes it helps, but sometimes it hurts, especially for us we just found a form, and international came at the wrong time for us.
Yeah.
But I'm feeling pretty confident. I think it might be closer than what people think. So I'm probably going to go for 3-2 to Newcastle.
Well, it's a win, and that'll do us. Listen, mate, we'll let you go and prepare for your evening with the lady friend.
Yeah, get yourself.
She was actually the one. She was the last that she's Irish. She was the one that I was commenting on that they're blowing it for me because I needed a date with this young lass, and we won. And she's like, "Fine, I guess we'll go out." But we went out one time already for drinks, and we hit it off great. So
so it's second date time, Billy Trey. What happens on second date, Billy?
Oh, fingers and tops. Get yourself oiled up, Alex.
Yeah, get oiled up there. Get those guns oiled.
Just copy the English. We're good at scoring against the Irish.
Listen, mate, have a cracking night. Have a good weekend, and we'll see you next time.
Cheers, guys.
All right,
See you,
buddy.
Alex.
Good night.
Good night.
Top man. Now we've got Bill on the line. Bill, good evening.
Hello, Paul. Hello, lads. How we doing?
Hi, Bill.
Bill, is your surname Armstrong?
No.
Oh. We've got a Billy Armstrong who is keeping me busy on the Facebook page.
No, that's not me.
With a lot, I know how you like to be thorough, Billy. You know what I mean. So, it's okay. How are you feeling ahead of the game, Billy? Bill.
I'm feeling very confident. I'm going with Chippers. I just feel we're due to batter somebody. Why not West Ham?
Well, I mean,
yeah.
Look, we've been saying it for a while now that we're due to give somebody a batter. And do you think it could be West Ham, Alex? Although last time you predicted us to give somebody a batter and it didn't go so well.
Well, in my defence, it was us in reasonable form going into the Luton game, and by all rights, we should have done a lot better in that game. It was truly abysmal. So, yeah, we are. I think we're getting close to clicking now. Chance creation's high. People are playing with confidence. We look good. Defensive issues have been sorted out a little bit, and we're playing with a lot more confidence, and it's a lot more fun to watch. However, West Ham are they're in a bit of a weird place at the moment where they've got a lot of really good players, really good players, and it's just not clicked. It's not gelling. Doesn't mean it can't click in certain games. It can do sometimes. So we've got to be careful because if everything kind of goes right for them, that they'll be a horrible team to play against. So we can't underestimate them.
Luke says, I dove into Christ, I probably didn't drive into it. I dove into Mamaroo Records yesterday. Easy enough considering I live in Whitley and collect records, but I've not been in for a while. Steve seems a really smashing bloke and sung your praises, Paul. Yeah, he's a cracking guy. And I'm going to pay him a visit. I think we're going to go down next week and call in and see him and get a couple of photos. Jopadoni, welcome to Members Club as well. Thank you very much for signing up. You are very welcome, my friend, and thank you for your ongoing support. Right, we've got somebody called Brew. Are you there?
Hello.
My Brew.
Hello.
Hello.
Is your name actually Brew?
No, it's Brewerton, but it's just Brew Wise, just for short. Hello.
Yeah, all right.
A Coventry name.
Yeah, I know Billy because I'm from Coventry also.
Oh no, not another one.
I went to school with a few Brewertons.
Yeah. So yeah, my point is, for me, I really want this this stadium to happen, because people like me who live in Coventry, it's really hard to get to the stadium now with all these ballots and that. And I like to go up as much as I can, but I really do struggle. And obviously, it costs £130 alone on the train to get there. So things like that, it will help. I mean, I went 4 times last season, but the stadium would help for people like me, definitely.
Do you think that's where they're heading, towards a new stadium, or do you think that it's still on the table for an expansion?
I would hope for a new stadium.
Yeah. It seems like a lot of fans are going that way, Billy, aren't they? They're looking at they're starting to sway that way.
Well, especially with what was said at the Stack event the other night, it seemed like he was saying it out loud that that's what's going to happen. So as long as it's close to where it is now, I don't see a problem with it, really.
Yeah. I mean, what sort of capacity would you say, Brew?
I would say what's been going on at the moment. I mean, 80,000, I think, should do it.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy, isn't it, when we say 80,000 should do it? Just about do it, yeah. Look, I think we've put to bed this rumour about Wembley Stadium as well. It can't be bigger than Wembley. Yeah. That's an old fishwives' tale, apparently. So, do you think they'll build a stadium? Maybe I'll ask this to Bill. The new stadium, Bill, do you think they'll build it for an 80,000 capacity with a possible expansion available should they need it in the future?
I'm going to say no, and I'll tell you for why. If this is going to be a once-in-a-generation investment, I think they're going to go for as big as they can. And if you think about it, if we had a stadium that could hold more than tickets we could sell, brilliant. We'll sell those tickets to the away end, to the away fans, and really get some atmosphere going. It is my thought. So for me, the bigger the better. Yeah, and also for the other functions they're going to use the stadium for.
Yeah, because you've got things. I mean, obviously Sam Fender's just announced he'd be at St James's Park, won't he? And we're sort of along those lines, Alex. It can do anything. Even when the football season's not on, they can keep that revenue coming into the club by obviously concerts, sporting events, things like that.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I completely agree with Bill on this. We're looking at being the best of the best of the best. Like, why not make the stadium kind of reflect that? Like, if we want to be, let's say we're sort of looking at 15 years down the line, we want to have won league titles, a Champions League, maybe more, and we want to be this huge international kind of powerhouse. We would need the stadium to kind of match that. So if we don't get it right now, we might have to address it again in 20 years anyway. So this is something, like he said, he used the word once in a generation. We need to get this right for the next 30 to 50 years, maybe at least. So it's got to be, we've got to make the decision for the long term. It's a huge responsibility of the current ownership, because and we need to do it, because at the moment we're dropping. The Etihad's got more capacity than us now. They've overtaken us by like 100 or something. Yeah. And it's, we definitely need to go big or go home. What's the point?
On a side note, Paul, if I may, the bigger we can make it, we're going to need it, because all those Man United fans living in London who are going to drop Man United, they're going to want somewhere to come and watch football.
Yeah. The plastics, absolutely. We know that there's plastics kicking around who would jump on the gravy train, shall we say. Antacid has actually been a member for 14 months, so it must have been a renewal that popped up. The Toon Review is our therapy. Alex writes the statistical prescriptions. I said that well on a Friday night. Billy is our psych exerciser, and Paul is the doctor of Toon Crack. Well, there you go. You're a psych exerciser, Billy. I have no idea in the wildest world what that is, but you are one. So well done on your promotion, Billy.
Thank you.
Bill, give us a score prediction for Monday.
I'm going to go slightly more than Chippers. I'm going to go for a 5-1. But before you boot me off the channel, the reason I came on tonight...
I'm not booting you off the channel, Bill. I mean, that would be rather rude.
Out of TTR Friday. Sorry, out of the studio. The reason I came on is I want to stir the pot a little bit with a couple of points. One of the songs I sent you, and I'm not asking you to play any of my songs, but one of the ones I sent you has a line in it. When the Premier League are making all these high value streaming and TV rights deals, who's checking its fair market value? Yeah, and the other one, I'm not in the know, and I don't for one second think this is actually happening, but a thought crossed my mind, which not a long journey, I'll give you that. But Callum Wilson, I just had this thought this morning. He's already sold to Saudi, and that's why we're not going to play him, because there's a clause that if he gets injured, the deal's off. And like I say, I've got no fact to back that up. It was just a thought that crossed my mind.
Well, you're probably not the only one who's thought that. But listen, Bill, thank you for joining us again, and we'll speak to you next week, buddy.
My pleasure. Talk to you later. Oh, Billy.
Yes, mate.
Nice to see you back. You might not be firing on all cylinders, but the cylinders you are firing on, they're firing very well, mate.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. Talk to you next week, guys. Ta-da.
Cheers, Bill. Take care, matey. Cracking lad, cracking bloke. He's a good boy. Paul Taylor, good evening.
Hey, how are we, boys?
Hi, Paul.
We're not too bad.
All right. Yeah.
What would you like to say tonight?
Talk about the changes. I think I'm going to a new stadium now.
You are as well, yeah?
Yeah, I am now. Yeah, because you could get more money in, couldn't you? Really?
Well, that seems to be what they're heading towards, isn't it, Alex? It's all about revenue now for the football club.
Well, yeah. If we expand it by sort of 20,000 seats, that's a lot of extra money. And it's not just that; it's all the corporate events as well. It's corporate seats plus standard seats plus, concerts, entertainment, fights, whatever it is. It's a lot of money. So
Paul Gallant concerts. I mean, they'll make a fortune.
Exactly.
You haven't got him in the phone box, I mean. Yeah, I still want it.
Well, yeah. Paul, how are you feeling about the game on Monday? Are you confident?
I'm very confident, Paul. Definitely.
You are, yeah.
Why not?
4-0.
Yeah. You're going 4-0.
4-0, yeah.
Wow.
3 goals from Isaac and 1 from Bruno.
Billy, every time your phone goes off like that, I think we're in some sort of Bruce Lee film.
Bruce Lee.
I'm expecting somebody to come on like,
more Bruce Forsyth than Bruce Lee.
Some little Japanese guy coming on and doing karate kicks and stuff, I did it again, didn't I? Anyway, let's move swiftly on. Brew, what's your prediction for Monday?
I'm going to go 3-1.
Nice. Scorers?
Isaac, I reckon, is going to score. I reckon Gordon's going to get one. And I reckon Tonali's going to get one off the bench.
Off the bench? So you think Tonali will be on the bench again, yeah?
Yeah, well, unfortunately. But it is what it is. I want him to start. But obviously, Eddie thinks that Eddie knows best, doesn't he? So...
Well, he's proven.
And Eddie, we trust.
The last few weeks, yeah, absolutely. Listen, matey, thank you coming on for your debut. Hopefully, we'll speak to you again next week.
Yeah, thank you for your hospitality, guys. Thank you, most obliged.
Cheers, Mr. Booton.
Take care.
See you later, mate.
I mean, somebody's asking me. Was it Tom just asked about my my old intro. Well, Alex didn't like me playing it because it was offensive, apparently. Well, in Alex's eyes, it was.
One?
But the higher one. But I've deleted it off the studio now, so I don't know. I won't be able to get that back because Alex just did what he did there. Just put his head down.
It wasn't great.
Why wasn't it great? Are you criticizing Susan's work again, Alex? Because you know she gets upset.
I was not referring to the quality of the video. That was not my intention.
I think you were.
It was the message.
I think you slipped up there and you've just dug yourself a big hole, my man.
Absolutely not.
Ryan, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. What's going on?
Oh my God, it sounds like it.
Yeah.
Listen to that voice. Yeah, good evening, guys. I am here for everybody, and I want to make
Come to
love
the
to the
cinema.
world. Yeah.
Yeah, this
how you-
camera doesn't like my camera for some reason, so yeah.
Well, maybe it's because of the tash on your face. It's put your camera off.
Nah, I like the stash.
Right, what would you like to say, buddy?
Yeah, it's just more on football journalism today, and I just want to call out. I heard it on a podcast earlier where a journalist asked Mikel Arteta. He's like, it was a very dumb question. It was, do you want to win the league by beating Pep? It's like, well, you win the league and you're obviously going to beat all the other 9 team managers. And these journalists get paid thousands of pounds. And like, do better. Like, stop making these articles using ChatGPT, because we all know you use AI to generate articles. Any of us could generate articles and mislead people. Do better.
Yeah, absolutely. Keto Ken is in the chat. Look to organize your own events, awards event. All the money goes to charity. Corporate will run a mile. Have a North version plus a Southern version. Beat them at their own game. And P.S. You won in my eyes. Thank you, Keto Ken. That is very, very kind. I mean, we do our own thing for charity, of course, on deadline days. Another one coming up soon, Billy. Is your ass prepared?
Probably not after Christmas.
What it is, Billy.
I mean, a lot of turkey and stuff in at Christmas. I'm not on my ass, obviously, but
Well, you've got to sit through 35 transfer shows between now and then with all the players we're going to get linked with.
that is true.
Yeah,
that is
absolutely. If there is anybody out there who does make pillows, a nice little cushions for people to sit on, give us a shout and we can send one to Billy. I'm sure he'd like to sit on maybe somebody's face.
You pardon?
Fuck's sake.
I'm sure would, yeah, absolutely. Not want to turn down an offer like that for.
Oh, God, Paul. Well, it is Friday now.
I don't think there's many people going to
Where
volunteer
did
for the
that
job,
come
though, to be
from?
honest.
What? Why? When?
Are you okay, Paul? What?
No, you know what I got to
Spikes
be.
your pet
You
peeve.
know how you can get them like cushions with people's faces on, or pets or whatever. I meant to say that. I didn't mean to sort of a face. Billy wants to sit on a face. I mean, I mean,
out of nowhere.
that came out completely wrong, and that's why live is always the best, because you end up saying stuff and you kind of think, did I really just say that Billy wants to? I mean, Billy's just admitted that he would love to sit on Billy's face, but I mean, you could get a plastic ring as well. Oh, that sounds even worse.
Hey, Paul, I just want to say something about the
Yeah,
new
please do,
stadium.
Ryan. Dig me out
So-
this hole, please.
So, in my opinion, I feel like moving stadiums is a bit of a poison chalice for me. Either we go there, make a lot of money, we compete, win trophies, or we turn in a Tottenham Hotspur where we kind of sell out and not focus on the football club and winning, and not winning NFL games, concerts. Sorry, King Huddle, but I think that's the way it is, and I'd never want to have your bald owner.
Oh.
The difference is that with the Saudis in charge, will we really go down that road? I don't think so.
Yeah, I hope. Yeah, that's the hope, and I don't think so either, Billy. So we'll wait and see.
Yeah.
And also, like, even if
logo-
even if the stadium is official and we move stadiums, it gives still a lot of time for foreigners that haven't, like me, that haven't been to St. James's. Still a lot of time to go and visit. So I don't think there's any.
it's going
worry
to be
for
a
that.
while if we build a new stadium.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
St. James is going to be used for the Euros in 2028. So, so it's going to be after that.
Yeah,
absolutely.
so plenty of
It'll
time for
take a
all us
while. Yeah.
foreigners.
I mean, God knows how much it's going to cost. The Ben School sent a message out tonight, and you know how this concrete stuff that had knocked Ben's comprehensive down.
Yeah, the rack stuff,
yeah,
is it?
Yeah. It's costing £71 million to build the new school. But obviously it's going to be state of the art. We've seen sort of images of what it's going to look like. It's fantastic, actually. But for a stadium and what they plan to put in it, you can imagine that the money is going to be tremendous. Paul, what's your prediction for the weekend, mate?
4-0.
4-0. Nice one. Yes, he already
boys,
did it.
yeah.
I've sort of gone back in time to try and forget
That's
what I
all
said
right.
about Billy sitting
Yeah.
on the face. Right. Thanks for
I'll see you
coming on,
soon,
Paul.
boys.
All right.
See you
Take it
soon.
easy, mate. See you soon. Bye.
Yeah, have a good one.
You too. So that was Paul. Tom Lynch is asking if Paul Gallant sells cushions of his face. I mean, he does a lot of merchandise, Billy. I mean, would you be prepared to sit on Paul Gallant's face for 11 hours or 12 hours? No,
absolutely not.
No.
Could you just imagine waking up and then all you see is a pillowcase and it's Paul Gallant's face on it?
Oh, Christ.
I mean,
I would buy one just to gift it to Billy for Christmas.
Yes.
Thank you. I'll be very honest to accept it.
I'll make sure it's a silk pillowcase as well, so it's nice and soft.
For God's sake, let's not even go there. Let's not even go there. Graham Sinclair, thank you for your super chat. He says, can I just say, fuck the ballots.
Good man. Yes.
Yeah, I think they will be looking at doing something different. It's not, you know, it's clearly not fair, is it? I mean, there's people who are getting tickets in the ballot every sudden week. How does it just? It's not on. It's not working. And hopefully they'll change that in the future. But that is it for TTR Friday. Billy, I'm going to let you off with a story unless you've got one.
I've got a good one, but I think I'll save it when I feel a bit better.
Okay.
Oh, we got it. Oh.
No, it has to be the way it's said, Ryan. It has to be the way it's said. Ryan, before you go, give us a prediction, bud.
I think I'll go 2-0. We have a good record against West Ham at home.
Yeah.
So
just for people's benefit as well, I'm not in the tavern tonight in the Discord.
Ryan, you will have to be a boss man in the tavern later.
Yeah, I'll have to host that.
Yeah,
or come join after. I put the Discord link earlier.
You did.
I think you could probably go on Facebook and find the link too. So
yeah, it'll be there somewhere. Right, thanks for coming on, Ryan. Enjoy the tavern later on.
All right, cheers, guys.
All right, good night, mate.
See ya.
Right, that is it. TTR Friday is over. We do have a show tomorrow, a match day live. We will start at 2:45. It is Arsenal against Nottingham Forest. Now, this is something that we are going to take forward. Give you a little snippet of what Susan is working on. This could well be the logo. So we are looking at obviously YouTube banner and everything like that for the second channel. It will be called TTR Extra. It's going to be basically a football channel. So we'll cover Premier League, European football, etc. Loads of live commentaries on there. Away from sort of Newcastle United. So once that channel is up and running, I will put it on the socials. Please go and subscribe. We want to try and make that as big as possible as well, because everybody watches a lot of football on this channel. You know, and even when I'm not around, you've got a commentator. You've got two commentators there, in Billy and Alex as well. So and they love commentating. Just as much as me. So we've decided to do the second channel, get that up and running, and hopefully you guys will support it. I know you will, because you always do. But it's for sort of other supporters to get involved as well. It won't be Newcastle United mainly highlighted on there. It'll be football in general. So we're really looking forward to getting that started. That may not be the logo. It may be the logo, but we'll see. But it is TTR Extra. That's what we're going to call it. Maybe TTR Extra / the football channel or something like that. We'll sort it out just before we kick it into gear, but it will happen. But thank you very much for watching, guys. Thank you for all your super chats and memberships tonight. Thank you to the mods. Cracking job yet again. And thank you to Stato and Billy, of course. And a big thanks to the guys that came on for the forum. And a massive thank you to you guys out there. Thank you so much for spending an hour or so on a Friday night with us. And we will see you again at around about 2:45 tomorrow afternoon for Arsenal versus Forest. We'll have the preview of Newcastle West Ham on Sunday. And then Monday will be Match Day Live, of course, and so on. So thank you very much for watching, guys. We will see you tomorrow. Have a great night. Adios.
Well, that's lasses.
Come back and check on some breathing. When I'm untouchable, and I'm untouchable, then are you back to tragic? So much trouble, make my day.